6 rookie wide receivers under the radar that you may not be thinking about. We're going to talk about them. Let's get it. What is up, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Tap. My name is Michael, and this is Brooks and John. Brooks, not John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. It's a Friday at the time of this recording. We're feeling good. We're feeling the weekend release, so to speak, I guess you can call it. And I'm just feeling great. I just want to get into these rookies because some people might not be thinking about these guys, and some people might, if they're paying attention. But just ready to get into the conversation.
100%. I've got my vino. LeBron would be happy. John, I don't want to ask you how you're doing today, but what are you drinking on? Drinking on anything?
Yeah, sadly, drinking an energy drink.
Oh, nice. I like that one. It's my favorite.
Shout out Ghost Warheads.
Shout out
Not
Warheads.
Not a sponsor, but you should be.
Let's go.
No, I'm doing good. Again, excited for the weekend, and yeah,
I didn't ask you how you were doing.
It doesn't matter. I'm telling you. So excited for these rookies as well. And like Brooks just said, yeah, these are what we did is in this episode is we're going to be focusing on guys that aren't the top 5 or 6 ones that everyone's been talking about since draft day. We're not going to be talking about Drake London. We're not going to be talking about Jameson Williams, Chris Olave.
Not even talking about Jahan Dotson. I mean, not even talking about him.
Not even Jahan Dotson.
I mean, that's like anybody below that. It's pretty much who we're talking about today. So
yeah, there were like 6 receivers taken in the first 20 picks this year, so I think we avoided all them.
Yes. Yeah. No, we did not take any first round receivers. We're not talking about them. So all second round or less. And my guys actually went back to back. So I just realized that. So anyways, yeah, I just kind of realized that. So anyways, John, you want to get started? Hey, Brooks' hand.
I will. Let's get started. So the first rookie that I'm very excited for this season, and I think he's going to be coming into a great opportunity to have success this season. Possibly someone you can expect maybe 500 plus yards from 50 plus catches. And that's because this guy's Alec Pierce from the Indianapolis Colts. And he's going to have himself Matt Ryan throwing him the ball. Yes, sir. I see Mike nodding his head. He loves it. I love it too.
Yeah, I like Alec Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be in an offense that's probably going to be throwing the ball nearly 500 plus times this season, along with having a rushing game that allows it to just be amazing. Alec Pierce does succeed as an interior receiver that's running those slant routes inside, and then can also jump up and be a big body and has great body control. He almost was going to be a linebacker in college, so he's got a little bit of size to him. He understands how to read defenses and play the gaps. And I do think that in this offense, as the number 2 receiver, possibly the number 3, if Mike's boy Paris Campbell could take a step up, Alec Pierce is jumping right into a great opportunity to get some play time. And the Colts actually had 31% of their targets last season vacated from the team. No T.Y. Hilton.
No T.Y.
Terrible receiver got traded.
Jack Doyle, gone.
Oh, Jack Doyle's gone too? You're right.
Yeah, he retired, I'm pretty sure. He retired. Thought he retired. Maybe he went somewhere else, but I'm pretty sure he retired.
R.I.P. Jack Doyle. Retire in peace.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he did. He did retire. Yeah. I was correct in that.
Yeah, so Alec Pierce is someone that is a name in your second round of your rookie drafts, especially if he falls to the third, is someone you're going to want to be talking about and making sure you grab if you need that receiver that's going to have some impact this year to keep you competitive.
Yeah, 100%. I like that pick. My only concern for him, obviously I'm taking him either way. I'm taking him I love getting him in my second round of my rookie drafts. I even like taking him at the end of regular drafts, or near the end. But the only concern for this year is, do they draft or do they sign a vet? Is really it. So
still a little bit of time left to do it.
Yeah, 100%. What do you think about Alec Pierce, Brooks?
I like Alec Pierce. You want to know what I like? I like Matt Ryan and the Colts offense And I like Alec Pierce kind of winning that role to be side by side with Michael Pittman, who we've talked about on the show, who
Yeah.
I've mentioned that I really like him and I think you should target him. And I think targeting Alec Pierce makes sense here too. He's a very capable receiver and on the bigger side, which means that he has the potential to body people.
Yeah,
And
6'3".
we like bullying receivers, and I'm going to talk about a 6'3" receiver later on the show, possibly, maybe.
There you go. So yeah, no, I love grabbing Alec Pierce. So my first receiver, I've talked about him for a long time. Before the draft, I tell this to anybody that kind of looks down on him because he's only 5'8". But it's Wan'Dale Robinson. Go look at his bowl game with Kentucky, bro. Oh my gosh. That's where I fell in love. With Wan'Dale Robinson. I've talked about him a little bit. He's only 5'8". Of course, he's getting knocked for that. Blah, 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 blah. He's not the fastest. He doesn't run a blazing 40. I think it's like a 4.4.
He's not slow.
I mean,
4.4 is not slow.
It's similar. I mean, for us, no. But I mean, we're not talking blazing like 4.3, low 4.3s, stuff like that. But he is very shifty, very quick with the ball in his hands, and that's where he's most dangerous. Getting drafted by the New York Giants, you kind of think of, well, they kind of just drafted somebody like that. They kind of just drafted Kadarius Toney. But I'm not too worried about Kadarius Toney because in my mind, let's say everybody stays healthy, okay? I do think that Wan'Dale can cement himself in a role being that slot receiver on that team. And I do believe they could push Kadarius Toney outside because he's lined up out there. He's just a great receiver in general. But if you look at his team, that's in a perfect world. If you look at his team, he's got Kenny Golladay on the team, and he's got Sterling Shepard, who's returning from a Achilles injury. Sterling Shepard has missed 25 games in 5 years. Okay, so no offense to Sterling, when he's on the field, sometimes it works out, but I think that we can expect some opportunities due to injury from other receivers. I don't want to speak on injuries, but
no,
I do believe we can expect some opportunities due to injuries from this team. I mean, the whole receiving core last year was hurt. I mean, Darius Slayton was the most healthy, and he still missed games. So I do think there's going to be opportunity for Wan'Dale. I think he could cement himself in as the slot receiver in this role, in this team. So I like Wan'Dale. You get the ball into his hands, he's very dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, the only real issue there is the variety of receivers that the Giants have. They did lose their tight end, but I think they replaced him this season. Where Kenny Golladay is someone who likes to play half a season. Sterling Shepard can't stay healthy. I mean,
they replaced him with Ricky Seals-Jones.
There you go.
And Jordan Akins.
Yeah, there's a very solid chance that Wan'Dale could end up as a wide receiver 3 on the team by midway through the season and not possibly push forward depending on injury and see a good share of targets, especially with Daniel Jones in the hot seat and the team in general not being the greatest. Should be a lot of offense.
Yeah, they're saying that Sterling Shepard. Some reports they're saying that he should be ready by camp. Some reports are saying that he could be put on the PUP list to start the season. We'll see how it goes.
He could be traded or cut.
Shoot, Kadarius Toney was talking about a trade earlier. So I mean, I know it was it was rumored, but I'm just saying this.
Didn't he request a trade?
No, he didn't. I don't think he requested a trade. Dang, he's already got a knee injury though. I don't think he requested a trade. I think he hinted that he wanted to be traded. I don't think it was a formal trade me. I think it was more of a hint at hey.
I think it was
some sort of public gesture. One of those.
Yeah, I don't. I'm I might be wrong, but like off the top of my head, I don't think it was like a formal trade request. I think it was an action he did that kind of showed that I kind of want to be traded. But
Yeah, I think he didn't show up for camp or something, or like threatened to not. Or
yeah, I think he threatened to not show or something like that.
but
He saw all those receivers getting money, and he's like, you know what? Screw it. I can make money now too. I'll be the first rookie to get
a second contract.
A second contract in my second year.
All right,
He's
though.
out here breaking records already, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna segue that into my first receiver that I'm gonna talk about now. The first guy that I'm gonna talk about is actually George Pickens.
Yes.
And I'm really liking George Pickens. And one of the reasons is that this guy is actually pretty huge. He's 6'3", 200-pound receiver, 201 pounds to be exact, according to my official sources. And he's actually pretty speedy for somebody of that height. He runs a 4.447 40-yard dash at the combine. And we're looking at a Steelers team that doesn't really have a solid foundation around quarterback at the moment. We have some questions. You know, we know that they drafted Kenny Pickett, and we know that Mitch Trubisky is there, but we don't really know what the long-term solution is like, or at least for the year one impact. But I do think that towards the middle, even towards like the beginning of the season, when the beginning of the season wraps up, like that 1/3 of the way through point, we're going to probably see him be contending for a lot of targets on this team just because of his size and because of his ceiling. Going into the 2021 college season, or at least in the offseason, I'm pretty sure he was viewed as one of the best wide receivers in college, but he just happened to tear his ACL. He missed a lot of time last year, like a lot of time, but he has that type of, elite type of college wide receiver type of profile. And that's kind of what the Steelers, I think we're looking at, enough to draft him in the second round. So I'm probably actually going to be targeting him. I know that I'm not really supposed to say who I'm targeting because I know people are going to want to snipe me in my drafts. But for the sake of educating, myself on what rookies I was looking at, George Pickens is kind of standing out whenever I look at him. So I'm going to be picking him up and suggesting that you do the same.
Yeah. Yeah,
Already got him in a league.
If you haven't already.
I have him already. I'm a big fan of his. Thank you, Mike, for that pick. But
you're welcome.
I do. I think he's someone that's going to be possibly. I think he could be the number one receiver on the Steelers by the end of the year. I think he's someone that could be an absolute monster and high upside with a very low floor. Let's just put it that way. His floor being his attitude and personality issues don't mesh well because we all know the Steelers love to draft receivers with a lot of personality, some good, some bad. And
well, I mean, Juju, AB, I mean,
that's the good and the bad I was talking about.
Bro,
which one's bad?
I've seen some
Juju's
crazy,
just dancing.
Yeah, he's dancing.
I've seen some crazy social media posts with Chase Claypool involved that are pretty funny, but like they're pretty out there too. So if anyone's unfamiliar, you should go. If you want to see another Steeler on YouTube or on social media that has decent viral videos, you can go check out Chase Claypool as well.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be there past his rookie contract. I really don't, and I think that opens the door for George Pickens.
I don't think.
Oh yeah.
There's not an offensive weapon outside of possibly Pat Freiermuth that's going to be on the Steelers past their rookie contract.
I think they'll sign Deontay. I do think they'll sign. I do think they will.
He's gone.
You don't think they try to sign Najee?
No, Najee's going to be 28 when he's up for a contract.
28?
Yeah.
Started the league at 24.
He is old. Yeah, he is old. You forget about that.
I'm going to say I don't think they sign him.
Yeah, you're right. You might be right.
Chase Claypool probably not getting a contract.
Claypool's definitely not getting a contract. I can guarantee Claypool's not getting a contract.
That's why they drafted 2 receivers this year.
Yeah.
Early in the draft.
Calvin Austin.
One of my
like 5th round.
One of my pre-draft favorites was Austin.
Yeah, he was. You did talk about him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, someone that's also going to surprise a lot of people that not enough people are talking about.
Let's hear it.
Brooks, let me educate you on a guy you might not have heard of. It's called Velus Jones Jr. at the Chicago Bears, walking into an absolutely spectacular opportunity this year. Now, that is considering the fact that Justin Fields was held back by the fact of the quarterback room issues that they had last year with Andy Dalton and that terrible coach that they had that doesn't need to be named today that we all know about because he ruined another quarterback that's already been brought up in this conversation.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky. But no, Velus Jones Jr. is someone that I'm really excited for. He's a 6-foot receiver at the second fastest 40 time and is someone that plays outside as well as inside and is an exceptional route runner. Played for Tennessee against SEC schools. Some of his best games were against Georgia, Alabama, and some of his most fun games to watch when you watch his highlight tape are against bad schools like Kentucky and stuff, where he's able to exceptionally abuse the bad corners.
Yep.
And then he's still able to succeed against great teams like I said, Alabama and Georgia. And then walking into the offense, there's really only Darnell Mooney right now on that team. Cole Kmet's someone that could see an increase in target share. They did lose Allen Robinson this year, who had a large portion of that offense. In total, they lost.
Not last year. Allen Robinson only had like 60 targets.
That's when you're only, yeah. I mean, that's.
I'm just saying, like
that's sizable
compared to the previous year. Previous year, he was massive.
That's sizable, especially because I don't think he played all season. But regardless, the Bears had 230 vacated targets between him, Tariq Cohen, Jimmy Graham. Who else left there? But they've got no one. Riley Ridley, Calvin Ridley's little brother, might be gone. I don't even know if he's still on the team.
They're in Vegas.
There you go. So realistically, Velus Jones is someone that's going to be walking into a situation where he can easily be the wide receiver 3 at the start of camp, if not a wide receiver 2 on a team. If Justin Fields is able to be halfway decent, we're looking at someone that could be seeing 60 plus targets this year. And I think you're talking about someone that's going to be very, very sneaky. I don't know why I have a fascination with quote unquote sleeper Bears receivers. I was really hot on Darnell Mooney 2 years ago. For some reason, I don't know if it's because I felt the need to support this man, but I'm really starting to like him, and I don't have enough shares of him. So I'm actually going to start targeting him in some other leagues. So if I'm right, I'm going to be really right.
Yeah. No, I don't think it, I just want to say this. It's not just you. I do like him. He is a sixth-year senior, which honestly, John and I couldn't even make it that far, to be honest, in college. But he's a 6-year senior, 25 years old. He is older, but I like the situation he's in because there's nobody else. There's nobody else. There's not even an offensive line there. I mean, they have receivers. So, Byron Pringle, I mean, we've seen what he can do with the best quarterback in the league, and it's not much. So I actually really like Velus Jones to be a wide receiver 2 on a team. You know, that's not saying he's going to be a wide receiver 2. But he is going to be at least a wide receiver 2 on this team, which it's the Bears, so it may not be a ton, but I do think we'll get weeks out of him. And long term,
if you get 4 years out of him, oh well.
If he can show himself, like if he can have like a few good weeks, I do think he can cement himself as a wide receiver 2 or 3 on this team for a few years down the road. But this year, like just talking about this year, I do think that we'll see a few weeks where he, gets in the end zone, has a 100-yard, receiving game, stuff like that, because there's
a big breakaway play.
A lack of options on this offense.
Yeah. All right. I'm sold. That was a good pitch.
All right.
I'm sold on the man now.
Nice. I
appreciate it.
Did I say the second fastest 40 out of the draft? The 4.31?
Yeah, 4.31, bro.
And who else ran a 4.31?
Tyreek Hill.
No, I think he ran a 4. He didn't run an official 40 time, I thought.
No,
yeah. I think he's estimated to run a 4.29 though. Is what I saw on like some calculator, or not a calculator, but like some website. I don't know if that's accurate or not. So
Tyreek?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said Raheem Mostert's faster than him.
Oh, cool.
You guys should look up, do yourselves a favor, look up Calvin Austin's unofficial 40 time.
Yeah, no,
It was
his unofficial is like what 4.21,
it was something stupid like that.
4.21 or something like that. I think it
Yeah.
like would have broken the combine record or something.
Yeah, it would have like shattered it. Like like that would have been pretty severe. But yeah.
Isn't it crazy that it's literally like hundredths of a second that people like the difference can make?
That shatters records is like a hundredth of a second. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
All right. So
So-
Velus Jones get drafted by everyone. Mike, who's your number 2 receiver?
My number 2 was the Alabama Crimson Tide's number 2 receiver last year until their number 1 got hurt. And then he's the number 1. So it's John Mechie. John Mechie going to the Houston Texans. Listen, Nico Collins did not get it done at all last year. You know, a lot of I will even say, you know, I don't want to say high hopes, but I had some hopes for Nico Collins last year. Ended up having a 54% catch rate and a true catch rate of 60%. So that's not showing me that it's the quarterback's fault, you know. Davis Mills will be a fine quarterback in the league. Brandon Cooks produced with Davis Mills and Tyrod Taylor. So it's not the quarterback. It's Nico Collins. John Mechie is hurt, of course. However, once he gets, I mean, he's ahead of schedule is what they're saying. He's running routes and stuff like that. But once he gets back to the team, he's going to be this team's number 2 wide receiver. Not only do I think he is going to have a great or a good year, like usable weeks this year, but a very bright future. You know, when you watch it, I don't know if you guys watch, you know, Alabama football a ton, but whenever I watched him, he's highly underrated in this class. You know, highly underrated. I do think he can be up there with the top in this draft. So I do think he's underrated. This year he falls in a good spot as far as not many weapons on the team. As soon as he comes back, he's probably going to make an immediate impact. Dare I say, he could be this year's Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ooh, I like it.
So
We're always looking for that guy.
Just drop that mic.
you know,
Oh yeah. So I guess I'm up now, right? I guess I'm the last one up right now. So I'm gonna bring up a receiver here that I think should be on everybody's radar. And that would be Jalen Tolbert going over to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, let's talk about vacated targets.
let's do it.
Cowboys actually have a surprisingly high amount of vacated targets. I can't actually find the source right now. Here it is. 214. There we go. You guys owe me a soda.
Amari
Say
Cooper's
Jinx
gone.
first, bud.
Amari Cooper's gone.
Yeah, Amari Cooper's gone. I mean that's
Cedric
just
Wilson.
big. That's just big enough. Cedric Wilson, but yeah,
Michael Gallup's hurt to
Tolbert.
start the year.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can roll out the red carpet of ideas for this man to be on your radar, and we're also looking at a guy. I mean, in 12 games in his junior year, I guess that would be his second junior year at South Alabama. Only played 12 games, mind you. 1,474 receiving yards. This guy is a 6'1" monster, 190 pounds. He will be a day one impact type of receiver for the Cowboys. That's what I think. I mean, we still need to get through the end of camps and everything like that, but I think that's where he's going to be. He's going to be right there, day one producer. I think you should go and target him. Dak likes his big boy receivers.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Jalen is, I think it's a name. You know, Jalen Tolbert. Jalen. It's a great name, first of all.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it. Look at Cedric Wilson. Okay, last year when they didn't have Amari or they didn't have CD and stuff like that, Cedric Wilson last year had some very usable games, and I kind of think that's where Jalen Tolbert can fill in, especially with no Michael Gallup for the first few weeks, first couple weeks whatever it is, even though he's a rookie, it's Dak Prescott. You know, he'll get him the ball. Great offensive line, great offense, and should be a great offense in general. He just finds himself in a very valuable position, especially to start the year off.
Absolutely.
Rookies love to thrive on the Cowboys for some reason whenever they have him. I mean, I don't know what it is. Dak, rookie year, monster. CeeDee Lamb, rookie year, monster. You know, Zeke,
Ezekiel Elliott,
rookie year, monster.
Led the league in rushing yards.
Yeah, so like the Cowboys rookies, they seem to get it done when they draft.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, we can just go down the list of successful rookies in Dallas, and I mean, I think it's safe to bet on this guy. He's talented.
Absolutely,
he's definitely going to fit a mold there that they need, and just go out and do it. I endorse this player, and that holds a lot of weight. You can ask everyone here.
You guys he has the Brooks endorsement. It's a seal that is very prestigious. I like it a lot. I really think it's great. Only thing that doesn't really scare me because I'm not too worried about it. The only thing that could possibly take away from his opportunity, again, is I think the Cowboys are a team that could bring in a free agent wide receiver.
Yep.
Now, there's not a lot of very threatening ones on there. But there are guys like Will Fuller. Julio's
as a wide receiver 2 for 4 to 5 weeks. He'll be okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're not getting a whole season's worth of production from him, and if you do, it's only going downhill.
But then Michael Gallup comes back.
Michael Gallup could easily. I think Tolbert might be. I don't think. We're not going down that rabbit hole here, but you got Will Fuller, Cole Beasley still around. He's a little older now. OBJ is still around. He's not, but again, another guy that's not going to be available till Michael Gallup's roughly available. So I mean, I love Tolbert. Yeah, I'm on board.
I think he's. I don't want to say in the best because like Drake London's obviously in a very good spot. Christian Watson's in a good spot. Treylon Burks, yeah. I mean, doesn't have as skilled of a quarterback as Dak Prescott, but he's in a very good spot.
Yeah. I like it. All right, is that everyone? We all done?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, who was your second, John? It was
who? Who was my second? The best receiver out of this whole conversation? Velus Jones Jr.?
No, that was your first.
No, that was my second.
No, it wasn't.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, where have you been?
I don't know. I spaced out, I guess. So, anyways,
we're in this to win this, Mike. All right.
Yes.
That's all you need to know.
Yes. So, who's your first?
I'm not telling you.
I could have swore you only talked about Velus Jones Jr.
No.
Mr. Pierce.
It was Alec Pierce. We talked about his situation. And everyone in the comments, let Mike know how much he's
sorry.
Go back to when I was talking about Alec Pierce and watch Mike's face. You let me know if he's paying attention or not.
I was.
We'll find out. Thank you guys.
Because I shook my head and you said, Michael. Even look at Michael. He's shaking his head. I like Alec Pierce. Just forgot about him. So.
Pull up the VOD.
Anyways. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. John, how are you doing today?
It's one of those days.
All right. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. Brooks, John, of course, you guys are always appreciated. Brooks more than John, but anyways.
Yeah, I'm hated.
No, you're not hated. Your takes are just bad. So
there you go.
I'm kidding. John has great takes.
Kenny Golladay wide receiver 2 on the season.
Hey, Mike Evans won't get 1,000 yards. He's done.
Oh wow, I'm sorry.
25 years.
What's more off? Wide receiver 78 or 1,021 yards in 17 games? And by the way, when I made that comment, I said in 16 games, and he didn't.
I don't think so.
Pull the tape.
No, I will.
Run the VOD.
I will. I remember what episode it was. It was the bets episode.
Okay. I don't remember. So.
Or the hot takes episode.
Which one was it? I thought you remembered.
I'll figure it out. Don't worry.
All right. You do that. All right, guys. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in. These are 6 wide receivers that are under the radar. Go check them out. Go draft them. Get them while they're hot. Love you guys.